Guys, you know those days when you wake up and you're just like not feeling it and you really don't know why, and you hate when those days come on? Maybe you spent all night watching YouTube videos and you slept in and you missed your alarm and you're not feeling like working out because you've already missed the time when you normally work out. Maybe you had some bad news happen. You didn't get the results you wanted in some goal you were going after. Maybe you were just fapping off all night. I don't know. But for whatever reason, you wake up and you're just straight up not feeling it. Now, what do most people do on those kinds of days? Usually they allow how they start their day to completely derail their progress they're going to make for the rest of their day. They think, if I started the day bad, I'm just going to let that momentum train continue and I'm going to have a bad day. And usually a bad day turns into multiple bad days. And this is why most people can't seem to get ahead. And this is where that feeling of being stuck comes from. Because we have all these times when we really want to move forward in our lives and achieve goals, but we're too busy having bad days and letting those bad days define the way our lives are gonna go. Now, as I have learned to solve this problem of having these bad days that come up where you just straight up are lazy and unmotivated and undisciplined, as I've learned to avoid those, I've started to be able to get more consistent progress in every area of my life. And learning to solve this problem and figure out how to stop having these bad days and stop succumbing to them and at least make those bad days not awful has been one of the most important things that I've learned to do in my life. And I'm going to share with you in this video specifically what to do to make sure that you can actually continue to move forward and not let those bad days derail you. How can you turn those bad days around? The first thing you need to understand when it comes to this subject is that we tend to really dramatize the things that are going to actually help us move forward. We think that in order for us to be successful, we're like, you know what? I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. I'm going to have my meal prepped meals that I tracked all the calories on, all the macronutrients. I'm getting the exact amount of proteins, fats, carbs, everything I need. It's completely perfect, meal prepped. I get up at 5. I have my cold shower. I eat my breakfast. Then I go have my 2-hour workout, and I'm just in the zone, breaking through plateaus, pushing the weight every single time. I get done with that. I come home. I have a 12-hour focused day of work where I'm just blasting through all resistance and just achieving just constant success with zero distractions. And this is what we think is required to succeed, when in reality, it's honestly a lot more simple than that. When it comes to the average guy that is trying to move forward in his life and achieve things, he's on the self-development kind of grind, usually your days break up into 3 groups. You've got the first group, which is about 25% of your days, and that is going to be the days where you genuinely are really on the ball and you're really making progress and you're really starting to accomplish some things, and like you would actually consider this a productive, successful day. Then about 50% of your days are going to be these days where you pretty much just hold serve. These are the kind of days where you just get done the things that you need to get done. Basically, you don't fall behind. So maybe instead of having an amazing workout, you still go to the gym. It's just not the best workout you've ever had. And maybe instead of having a great diet, you just don't eat awful foods. And you get the basic stuff done at your job, at your business, whatever it is. You get those core things done that have to get done to keep maintaining the progress you've already made. Those are those 50% days. That's the majority of your days. Then you got that 25% where you're just not feeling it and you're just feeling bad and you don't do anything effective. You're not productive and you let all that hard work go to waste because you blow it on the diet. You don't show up to the gym. You miss out on doing just the basic stuff that could help you keep the progress going when it comes to your business or whatever area you're trying to work on in your life. And this is where that feeling of being stuck comes from. So many guys feel stuck, and I've felt this way too, and I've noticed every time I felt stuck, it's because I'm maintaining this cycle where I have some really good days, I might get fired up, and I'm moving forward, and I'm making some progress. Then I have those days where I just basically don't fall behind, and then I have those days where I do fall behind. And because of that, you might have those great days, but you're countering them with the bad days. And because of that, you're in an equilibrium state. You're not actually moving forward. And in fact, because time is moving forward, you're just moving backwards. Guys, instead of focusing on having these just amazing days, just focus on not fucking it up on those awful days. And then all you're left with is positive. You're left with just nothing but success and progress. It might not be dramatic, but you will move forward because you're not countering those great days with terrible days. Basically, basically you go from 25% great days, 50% hold serve days, and 25% awful days to 25% great days and 75% hold serve days. Can you just take those days where you're feeling awful and just not completely blow it on those days? Now, what's going to happen when you do this is you're going to be left with nothing but progress. You're going to be moving forward. And what does that do? It means that you actually get some results. And if you get some results, you're going to build your confidence, you're going to build your momentum. And what momentum is going to do is mean that those days where you're having good days, let's say that day's like a 7 out of 10, like it's a pretty good day. Those 7 out of 10s are going to go from 7s to like 8s and 9s. And that 5 out of 10 hold serve day is going to go from a 5 to like a 6 and a 7. Now, there are two things, guys, that have dramatically improved my daily results so that those bad days aren't bad days, they're just hold serve days. The first thing that I have focused on is the process. Focus on the process rather than focusing on having this just amazing day and focusing on everything that has to get done in the perfect day, because you'll beat yourself up. Here's what happens. You wake up at 10 o'clock, and instead of, maybe you wake up at 6 normally, you wake up at 10 because you stayed up all night playing video games. Now you've set this tone that it's going to be a lazy day. But rather than giving into that laziness right there, which is what you do if you're focused on having the perfect day, because you tell yourself, well, I already missed my alarm, this isn't going to be a perfect day. And so you just sit around your phone in bed now, and now it's 11, 12, and you're still not doing shit. Rather than that, you just say, okay, what's next? And you get started with the process. So you get out of bed, you do your morning routine. Then after the morning routine, you go to the gym or you eat your first meal, and you make sure that's not a shitty meal. You focus on, okay, what do I need to eat with this meal? And you get started, and you just focus on that next step, next step, next step. And maybe you don't have a grand slam day. The point, again, is not to have a grand slam day. It's just not to completely fall behind on these days. The second thing I've learned to do is learn to treat these bad days like part of a war, okay? Now, what I mean by this is, if you're in war, understand that the enemy doesn't tell you when they're going to attack. Now, if you were in war and the enemy attacked and you just gave up all the territory that you had fought so hard to acquire, you would definitely never win a war, and you'd probably get court-martialed depending on how you did it. Now, these kinds of situations may not be your greatest victory in war when the enemy's attacking you, but there is a huge difference between completely giving up and blowing it and losing everything and basically just holding serve and keeping your composure and making the best out of a situation that arises. And this is how you need to treat these kinds of days. Understand that you're at war with this part of yourself that's just lazy, lethargic, it doesn't believe in you, it's scared, it's just completely compulsive, it's not on your side. And some days when you're moving forward and you're really on the ball, that's when you're on the offensive in this battle with that part of yourself and you're making progress. But then there's those days where that part of you has been laying in wake all night while you're asleep, waiting for you to get up so it can catch you in a weak moment and attack. And you have to understand that you're being attacked when you wake up on these days, or when you're just like, maybe you start scrolling too much on social media and it gets you into this funk, whatever it is. Understand those are that moment where the enemy is creeping up on you and attacking you. And you cannot allow it to just completely roll you over, or you'll never win this war. You have to learn on those days that you have to just hold serve. Do some counteroffenses, basically. Like I said, it's process. Don't worry about having a perfect day. Just understand, okay, I'm under attack right now. Laziness is attacking me. Compulsivity is attacking me. Self-doubt is attacking me. What can I do? Just focus on what's right in front of you and handle that and just slog through it. And eventually the enemy is going to run out of attack. It can't just keep attacking forever, and it's going to go away for a little while, and now you can go in the offensive. And if you keep doing this over time, eventually you'll just beat that part of yourself back until you've basically won the war. If you can take on the mentality of treating this like you're fighting a war, you will be able to salvage those days that are just going to shit, and because of that, you'll have nothing but positive days. You'll build positive momentum. Guys, if you got something out of this video, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.